And Restoration Housing they've been a big blessing to my family.
Restoration Housing changed my life, for sure.
I enjoy working with Restoration Housing because they do things for the right reasons.
We do this because we love older homes, we love older neighborhoods, we want to help revitalize neighborhoods that have lacked public and private investment for decades. It's a dual mission to both reinvest in blighted and vacant properties through historic preservation, and then it is to own and maintain the properties as affordable housing. So we see this as both a community-wide impact and then an individual impact.
And when you take a tour of each of these places, you can see how the vibrancy has been restored, not only in that house and on that property, but in the lives of the people who've been able to call that place home.
So Restoration Housing started just about 10 years ago. I was working in-house for an architecture firm, and I became pregnant with my first child, and I knew that I wanted to keep finding a way to work in affordable housing and work with historic preservation. These are the two things that I have always really loved. And seeing that it wasn't being done locally here. We're at 530 Day Avenue. I'd started the nonprofit. I knew what I was looking for. I was driving around, and there was this big, beautiful home here. It was boarded up. It looked exactly like it needed a lot of work.
We walked inside and you could look down at the basement, and then you could look all the way through the roof and see the sky.
I had several neighborhood activists come to me and say they would prefer for it to remain vacant than to be turned into both affordable housing, rental housing, and 2 units, multifamily. Those are just such stigmatized terms then. The obstacles here seemed almost impossible. And I was 9 months pregnant with my first child, which I think actually worked in my favor. And we passed the Board of Zoning Appeals, and we completed construction. I had my baby. It was beautiful when it was complete. And I've had a letter written by actually someone who had spoken out against it that said, I was wrong. I'm so sorry. Like, we love what you're doing. That was really meaningful for me. We love working in this neighborhood. It's got a ton of beautiful historic building stock to work with. We are at 930 Stewart Avenue, and this is our 4th rehab in Southeast. This house, it's sat vacant for many years. Boarded up houses have a really negative impact on neighborhoods in terms of crime and vandalism and feelings of safety. I
I think anytime that you can take a house that's been boarded up or left vacant for a while, you're going to improve the community, the neighborhood, the people, the neighbors around that have been here for a while really appreciate the fact that the house is no longer boarded up and vacant. It's just a better atmosphere for everybody.
I think just having a corner house right here in this sort of prominent location on the block come back to life and have people living here versus just sitting here vacant and boarded up will have a really positive impact. I think Passion's amazing in many ways.
Good vibes only means good vibrations, positive energy, and radiating sunlight, I would say.
Her story is the story of resilience, the kind of story that what we hope our housing can provide, which is a version of a happy ending.
The challenges that I faced when I was looking for housing, when I was on the verge of homelessness, was mainly because I didn't have a lot of renters background. And I know a lot of people struggle with that as well. Some places require 3 times the rent, and I don't make that much.
In the city of Roanoke, we have a wait list for housing choice vouchers, and that wait list is 4,000 people long. It's really bad in Roanoke, so we know, at least in Roanoke alone, that number of people are struggling to find something that they can afford.
When I got connected to Restoration Housing, I just felt like I could breathe again. Like, that was a huge weight that was on me, was homelessness.
And right now, Passion's expecting her first child, and I'm really excited for her to begin that journey, and we hope that we can continue to be a safe space for her and her family.
We are at 820 Dale Avenue. Yeah, I love it. I was living in a property, and the landlord sold the property, so I couldn't renew the lease. Before I got with Restoration Housing, I was staying in a hotel. It can be hard. I got 3 children, and myself, so it's hard. It's really hard. The prices is outrageous, and this is very affordable. Honestly, it's affordable.
Then on the individual level, we're keeping these rental opportunities safe and affordable for families. So we're able to make sure that they're not cost burdened and that they are well taken care of and they have a landlord that responds to them.
Since I've been here, I joined a homeowners program. So within the next 3 to 5 years, I'm looking to purchase a home. Yeah, renting through them has gave me that opportunity. It's been affordable, so I could do that. They're the best landlord I probably had. I appreciate you all. They don't get no better than you all.
It's interesting that this is our 10-year anniversary because it really is busier than ever. We have 2 of the most exciting projects we've ever had. One is a historic church in Old Southwest Roanoke, turning it into 15 units of elderly affordable housing. That's just much bigger for us than anything we've taken on before. And then the second one is a residential treatment facility for pregnant and postpartum women and their newborn infants. That one is just something I'm personally really passionate about. And our greatest needs really are operational expenses that can help us do what we do. Restoration housing needs money just to keep the lights on, keep our employees doing what we do, and that takes a lot.
So we are in the former sanctuary of Trinity United Methodist Church, which was built in 1903. This space not only has this amazing and extraordinary historic design for a sanctuary, but it also has an annex which has the fellowship hall, which has multiple levels of education space.
This is the most challenging one we'll have ever taken on because of size.
And as restoration housing does so well, they build on the history of this place and they just take it to the next level. It's a real gift to this neighborhood and to the city because they're adding affordable senior housing.
And there's a really strong need for it. So I just hope that this project meets the need locally and that our residents are happy and that they find that they feel safe here.
When we first walked through the doors, me, Isabel, Mary Beth, the first thing we noticed was just this overwhelming light. It pours in from these just
every angle,
and it just wraps itself around you. So we are on Patterson Avenue in this beautiful historic home. We're going to be housing moms and their babies, moms that are in recovery, affected by substance use disorder, hoping to get back on their feet and beat their disease. And for me to be able to help them get better and for their brains to heal, I have to bring them to a safe place. Houses really, they do have energy. I remember Isabel telling me that, and she's so right. There is definitely an energy to this house. It's positive, it's healing, it's warm. And I think that's what a lot of our women have lacked in their lives. I can't help but think how many lives could have been saved had we had a facility like this a lot earlier.
There's this sort of exponential growth happening all at once, and I feel that, tension all the time. What does it mean to grow effectively without continuously growing exponentially?
As I think back over the last 10 years of the work that restoration housing has done in our community, it reminds me that the people who move into these restored homes, they have unique stories to tell. And it's part of their own recovery. It's part of their own renewal, as though hope has been restored for them.
My boy was born while I was pregnant with him when I started the nonprofit, and he's just turned 9, and I'm looking at him all the time and just wondering where the time went. It is such a longing feeling to think about both how beautiful things are when you see them grow, both children and the work that we've done, but it's a bittersweet longing for wishing you had more time. How did 10 years go by that quickly?
Happy 10-year anniversary, Restoration Housing.